and economic development.
That will most likely have an impact on surgeries and
Coming up in your Ignite News today, Mohawk College opens its doors for new and upcoming students. Hamilton gets a very special and important history lesson.
The first demonstration by Canadians that they wanted to have their own country, something separate from the United States.
And a family tree farm keeps the Christmas tradition alive.
We've had the farm since 1974, and we did Christmas trees as a sideline the first 10-15 years, and then we decided to make it our main business.
It's going to be fairly warm today, but we've got snow in the forecast. Check back with me and your weather forecast to find out when.
Much Music's Big Jingle concert is hitting the stage this Sunday. Find out which of your favorite artists will be performing. All this and more on Ignite Entertainment.
The Raptors lose again, and the Baseball Hall of Fame announces its class for 2013. I'll have all that and more coming up in sports.
All that and more coming your way on Ignite News today.
Good morning and welcome to your Ignite News for Thursday, November 29th. I'm Brad Phillips.
And I'm Anisha Seth. Here's what's making news. Ontario elementary teachers have said they plan to walk off the job in early December. The announcement said that families should expect every elementary school in Ontario to be affected by the strike, and that secondary school teachers have suspended all bargaining. Teachers will give parents 72 hours notice of a strike to allow for time to make other arrangements. There is no word on which school boards will be affected and for how long.
This past weekend, Mohawk College opened their doors for their annual fall open house. Ignite News reporter Brian Naylor has the story.
Hi, how are you? Welcome to Mohawk College. Come on in for the open house.
All prospective students and their families were invited to join current staff and students at Mohawk College's annual Fall Open House. Many representatives from various departments in the school were on hand to answer any questions people had and why they should think about enrolling at the college. Professor at the McKeel School of Business, Lloyd Hobbs, says it's important to be at the open house to promote the college to future students who might not have made up their minds.
Also very important because the parents of the different students are going to be here with them, aunts and uncles and friends, that type of thing. Because the choice to come to Mohawk quite often isn't just academic, it's actually a personal choice.
Recruitment and Marketing Officer at Mohawk, Valerie Washburn, planned the open house and said how important it is to have this event every year.
The open house, well, it's a chance to speak to all our faculty, staff, students, alumni, come and see what it looks like in here, see all our fabulous classrooms, take a tour. So many people have never been in, they drive by and they're curious what's in here, and when they walk in, they are amazed.
Washburn also says she hopes the prospective students see the variety of programs and services that the college provide for their success.
We want you to be future ready, we want you to be in the program you love and be successful, get a job.
For prospect students and their parents, the open house is a chance for them to get experience of a day in the life of a Mohawk student. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Brian Naylor.
The Ford Motor Company of Canada is adding a third shift to its Oakville assembly plant. The shift will create 300 jobs, which will be offered first to its laid-off employees. Ford says high consumer demand is the cause for the needed addition of the third shift. The jobs will be in the plant's body, paint, and pre-trim department. The shift is expected to start in the first quarter of 2013. Ford has about 800 employees on layoff. First priority for the new shift will go to the 220 laid off from the closing of the St. Thomas plant.
Many major U.S. and European retailers' products have been found in the burned warehouse in Bangladesh. The fire that broke out in the garment factory on November 24th killed 112 people. Among the brands found to be using the factory were Disney and Walmart. Walmart says it had been aware of safety problems and decided to stop using the factory, but a supplier continued using it without authorization. The fire has again put the spotlight on dangerous working conditions around the world and who should be held responsible when events like this happen.
Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas is expected to speak to the General Assembly at the United Nations today. Abbas is seeking the upgrade in status in the UN to change Palestine from an observer state to a non-member observer state, a move Palestinians believe is an important step toward a two-state solution with Israel. There are no vetoes in the General Assembly, so the resolution is expected to approve. Not all members are on board, though. The U.S. and Israel are opposing the move. They say Palestinians should first negotiate their statehood with Israel, not sidestep talks with the independent action.
This year is the 200th anniversary of the War of 1812. Ignite News reporter Lee McConnell spoke with some local historians about the importance of the war.
I became a colonel in the Lincoln Militia. I fought at the Battle of Queenston Heights, and so I knew Brock personally.
This is Wesley Turner, a retired Brock University history professor. He also goes by Ralph Clench, a colonel of the Lincoln Militia during the War of 1812. Clench fought in the Battle of Queenston Heights, the same battle where British General Sir Isaac Brock was killed. Dr. Turner held a presentation for the members of the Grimsby Historical Society about the now iconic general's efforts in the War of 1812. The war is currently the only war in history to be fought in the Great Lakes region. It is not only important for that reason, but Turner says it laid the groundwork for Canada to become a country.
It was really the first demonstration by Canadians that they wanted to have their own country, something separate from the United States. But many of them fought with the militia. Many were killed and wounded in the defense of Canada against the American invasion.
In his presentation about Brock, Turner says that just because the general is famous doesn't necessarily mean that he was a great commander.
As a battlefield commander, probably not, because he was killed so early in the war. He becomes a symbol of heroism, a symbol to inspire people to serve their country, to defend their country, a symbol of a cause, because he died in defense of this country.
Craig Tallman, the program director of the Grimsby Historical Society, says that a common theme of the war was unification, something as important in Canada then as it is now.
It was the germ that helped create Canada as a nation. It helped bind us together because Canadians of American descent, of British descent, the Battle of Châteauguay proved that French and English Canadians actually fought side by side against a common enemy. It was a unifying force in helping create, if nothing else, the identity of Canadian people on our side of the Great Lakes.
This year marks the 200th anniversary of Brock's death at the Battle of Queenston Heights. And if it weren't for the contributions he and many others made, Canada may not look the way it does today. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Lee McConnell.
CN has again shot down the city's attempts to move the Stewart City rail yard. A citizens group pitched a plan to radically change the waterfront rail yard, which would see parks, stores, and condos built on the grounds. Since the idea to move the yards to Aldershot in the early 90s, CN has shot down any city proposals to build there. CN executives have said that the rail yard remains important to future operations.
A Bancroft area doctor is facing a number of charges for allegedly falsifying medical marijuana documents. Dr. Robert Cameron-Mintz and his wife Mary are accused of endorsing fraudulent requests for medical marijuana licenses across Canada. The RCMP say that the local crime family headed by Andre Graville are the subject of the investigation. The Cameron-Mintz are currently out on bail but will be heard in front of a courtroom sometime in February or March.
'Tis the season for Christmas trees. A tree farm outside of the city is expecting thousands of visitors this holiday season. Ignite News reporter Courtney McDonald has the story.
For some families, cutting down the perfect tree is their Christmas tradition. For Hubert and Irene Will, it's growing trees that's tradition.
We've had the farm since 1974. And we did Christmas trees as a sideline the first 10-15 years, and then we decided to make it our main business.
Since then, Will's Christmas store and tree farm has grown, literally and figuratively. With the holiday season quickly approaching, the hard work of trimming branches and mowing between trees all year will soon pay off.
We get between Thanksgiving weekend and Christmas roughly 20,000 visitors.
In the coming weeks, most, if not all, of these trees will be cut down, taken home, and decorated in families' living rooms. Picking the perfect tree isn't always easy.
Is it too big? Are we big? Is it just not?
I don't know. I mean, it's awfully big, right? We want it to be 7 feet.
The early birds at Will's Farms were overwhelmed with options.
We find one, no, not this one, the other one, no, the other one, and they're all great green and
difficult to choose.
Yeah.
Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Courtney McDonald.
Ontario residents could soon lose Canada's most iconic symbol, the maple leaf. Climate change and harmful species coming from New York are jeopardizing maple trees in the province. They could disappear within a decade if the province does not come up with a biodiversity strategy, according to a new report released by Ontario's Environmental Commissioner.
Here's a look back at today's top stories. Ontario elementary teachers have said that they plan to walk off the job in early December. A Ford Motor Company of Canada is adding a third shift to its Oakville assembly plant, and CN has again shot down the city's attempts to move the Stewart Street rail yard.
It looks like it'll be unseasonably warm today. Let's check in with Taylor for your weather update.
Today in Hamilton, we are looking at a mix of sun and cloud with a nice temperature high of 5 degrees. Toronto will be sitting just above that with a high of 7 and a mix of sun and cloud. Moving over to Niagara Falls, the Falls are looking at the same weather as Toronto with a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 7. London will be sitting at 5 degrees, mainly cloudy with the sun peeking out throughout the day. And Windsor will see the flip side of that, mostly sun with just a bit of cloud. It will be fairly warm with a high of 7 degrees. And taking a look at the next 24 hours in Hamilton, we've got some flurries on the way this evening, with the temperature sitting just above freezing at 1 degrees. It will drop slightly overnight to -1, and we will be getting scattered flurries. Tomorrow morning, the temperature will stay right around freezing. However, it will feel closer to -6. We will continue to see scattered flurries all day. Looking at the 5-day forecast, tomorrow we will see scattered flurries in the evening with a 60% chance of rain or wet flurries. We're looking at a high of 0 and a low of -1. The weekend will start off nice with Saturday sitting at a high of 7 and a low of 0. It will be cloudy with a 30% chance of showers. Sunday will be a bit warmer with a high of 11 and a low of 6, cloud with a possibility of rain. And moving into next week, Monday will continue to get warmer with a high of 12 and a low of 6. We're also looking at a mix of sun and cloud. And finally on Tuesday, there's a 60% chance the rain will return, and we'll be sitting at a solid 9 degrees all day. And that's it from you with your weather. Let's check in with Rachel for your see what's up in your entertainment.
Thanks, Taylor. Toronto's Big Wreck and Vancouver's Theory of a Dead Man have come together for a cross-Canada tour, and tonight they'll be taking the stage at Hamilton Place. Tickets are still available through Ticketmaster, starting at $40. Also at Hamilton Place, comedian Jerry Seinfeld takes the stage this Friday. Seinfeld will be performing twice, beginning at 7 p.m. with an encore performance at 9 o'clock. Tickets are still available online, starting at $90. Now let's take a look at what's going on in Hamilton and here at Mohawk.
Hey Mohawk, I'm Julia Neal and this is your community calendar. Deck the streets with your Christmas spirit for the Stony Creek Santa Claus Parade this Saturday. The parade will begin at 2 o'clock and will go along King Street East. Do you have a present you want to regift? Today is the last day to donate to the United Way silent auction, which will be held at the Fenham campus. Have fun with Fondant. The Hamilton Spectator's hosting a cake baking class on December 4th for $25. That's all I've got. Let's head back to the studio.
Moving to the Toronto music scene, Much Music will be presenting the Big Jingle concert this Sunday at the Air Canada Centre. Performers include Canadian superstar Carly Rae Jepsen, Australian pop star Cody Simpson, and Simple Plan. Much Music will be airing the show on December 12th. That's all for me, Mohawk. Let's pass it over to Diego for your sports update.
Thanks, Rachel. The Toronto Raptors fell 103-82 to the Memphis Grizzlies. DeMar DeRozan led all Raptors scorers with 16 points. The loss is Toronto's 6th in a row, with their record now standing at 3 wins and 13 losses. The Dinos are back in action on Friday night when the Phoenix Suns come to town. Switching over to the gridiron, the New Orleans Saints and Atlanta Falcons will hit the field in the Thursday nighter. Atlanta comes into the game with a record of 10 wins and 1 loss to lead the NFC South. The Saints, with a record of 5-6, will look to get back to 500 with a win tonight. And finally, the Baseball Hall of Fame announced the 2013 candidates. This year's class creates a lot of controversy because it's considered the first ballot of steroid-era players. Among the players on the ballot include Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Curt Schilling, and Sammy Sosa. The inductees will be announced the weekend of July 26, 2013. That's it for sports. Let's go back to the desk with Brad and Anisha.
With the holidays right around the corner, we took to the halls to ask Mohawk students what's the best gift you've ever received.
My favorite Christmas present was a gift from my mom, and it was a teddy bear, and it was made out of my grandmother's mink coat. And out of the coat, my mom made 4 teddy bears, one for each of my siblings. So it was a pretty special gift because that mink coat meant everything to my grandma. So it was pretty cool.
I got a hat for Christmas from my sister. It's very large and fluffy, and it has horns and pigtails.
Do you wear that a lot?
Yeah. It's not cold enough quite yet. Well, it's getting there, but yeah.
Probably Nintendo 64 when I was like 7 years old, and it was my favorite because I got one and my like shitty cousin didn't from my grandparents, so it was kind of a big kick in the pants for him.
A Michigan police officer got a surprise when he pulled over a suspected drunk driver. The visibly inebriated man was dressed in a purple Teletubby outfit. He turned out to be Detroit Red Wings first-round pick Riley Sheehan, who had 4 times the legal limit of alcohol in his system. Sheehan had been charged under Michigan's super drunk law for drivers with a blood alcohol level over 0.17. That's all for your news for Thursday, November 29th. I'm Nisha Seth.
I'm Brad Phillips. For more news coverage, check out our website, ignitenews.ca. Thanks for watching, Mohawk.